Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to this live episode with Mr. Therapist. I must say, you are welcome once again to yet another time, another beautiful moment with Mr. Therapist. Whichever location you are watching me from, whichever location, whichever state in Nigeria that you are viewing me from, please, if this is your first time of viewing this blog on a live video like this, please do well to hit the follow button so as to continue to find edifying, educative, and viral news from this blog. I come again. If this is your first time of viewing this blog, please do well to hit the follow button so as to continue to find edifying, educating, and viral news on this blog. I must send my shout outs to fans out there who have opened this blog so far and they have dropped their reviews and their recommendations. I must say thanks a lot. I really appreciate. And hey, if you are still out there, if you are watching me right now, you are still out there, you haven't dropped a review yet, please do well to drop a review and recommendation. It is very necessary and very important. Drop it and go away. And as it has been laid in my heart, I will find time and top up for everyone that has dropped their own recommendations. Today I saw a recommendation on my blog that really got me smiling. That came from Miss Jennifer Christopher. When I saw a review and a recommendation, I was impressed. I was glad. I was like, this is someone that knows me too well. And by the end of this live video, I'm gonna top up MTN 200 MB for 5 people again as usual, because it is my culture to release data to my fans at the end of the day. I must say that today has been a very busy day for me. That is why I didn't even have the energy to make an article. Afterwards, I just had to come out live like this and talk. It has been one therapy section upon another. So yeah, you can imagine I am just out of therapy section and I decided to come live and lecture on relationship and marriage. I must send my gratitude to people that have done business with me. Those that keep coming to my inbox to say they want therapy section. Those that keep coming to my inbox to say they want to pay for a section, and they pay for a section. Those are the people that keep me in business. I am grateful. I repeat, I am grateful. Now, without taking much of your time, let me go to the main issue on ground, which is this. This issue is going to be addressing singles, those in relationship, those in courtship. And this is what it's all about. Please, as a man, as a woman, never ever manage to marry. Never ever manage to get married, manage to settle down. Never ever. We are having lots of cases in marriage already. We are still handling cases that might or might not lead to divorce already. Please don't add to it. While you are still out there not yet married, please don't manage to get married. I know the feeling that comes with it is way too late. Time has passed. Mostly for women, you are about 25 going on 30. You are almost 30 plus. Some are drawing close to 35. Some begin to get scared of menopause. Some get scared of many things, and as such, the instant a man comes, they want to marry sharp. Some men just want to marry by all costs, by all means at all, such that some things that they should look into before the marriage, they want to overlook it, they want to ignore it. Can I tell you something? Those things that you ignore in courtship and marriage are the same things that you will have to face in marriage. And if you are unable to fix those same things, those little things, you might still not enjoy the marriage. So what is the rush for? I come again. Those little things that you ignore to fix in relationship, in courtship, if you out of pressure, out of desperation to get married, you married with those things not being handled properly, you will still have to deal with those things in your marriage. And in the end, because of those things, you won't still enjoy the marriage. So what are you then married for? So please never manage to marry. Now, this is how to know that you are managing to marry. You are a young lady. You don't love this guy. You don't like this guy. Things about you and about this guy don't really match. But because this guy has money, you still want to marry him. This guy's parents don't accept you. You still want to marry him. In their family, there's one of his brothers, one of his sisters that does not like your face, that dislikes you, that says so long as you won't leave the brother alone, you won't have peace in this house. But you still want to marry into that house. You are managing to marry. That is it. As a young lady, when you offend this guy, you find it difficult to apologize to this guy. You can't bring yourself to say, I'm sorry. It's as though this guy has to force you to apologize to him. In other words, you are not submissive to the guy. You can't bring yourself under this young man. Then if you go out to marry the young man, you are just managing to marry. You won't enjoy that marriage. As a young lady, you should marry somebody that naturally you submit to his authority. Naturally, you be like, please lead the way. You see the way children naturally allow parents to show them the way, lead them. And they trust that their parents will never lead them into a dish. They trust that their parents will never allow them fall into a pothole. That is how, as a woman, you should submit to a man. You should submit to a man, trusting completely that so long as this man is concerned, so long as Mr. John, Mr. Peter, Mr. Jude, Mr. Okafor is concerned, my life can never be in danger. That's what they call submission. Submission is giving somebody a gun that is fully loaded and trusting the person not to pull the trigger. Because if you don't trust somebody, even if the gun is empty, you still won't give the person the gun. Because you always have the fear that this person might load the gun in your absence and shoot you. So even with an empty gun, if you don't trust somebody, you won't give the person the gun for fear of the person finding time to load it with bullets and shooting you. But when you trust somebody, even when the gun is loaded with bullets, you can still give the person the gun and say, shoot me if you like. And the person will collect the gun and drop it on the table. Because the person does not have what it takes to harm you. That's what submission is. Submission is that trust you invest in a man. So if you don't submit to a man, and you know that you cannot afford to submit to this man, then there is no point getting married to him. There is absolutely no point. It means you are managing to marry. Now, as a young man, this young lady have submitted to you. But all you think of doing, all you feel like to do, all you want to do is just to take her for a ride, take her for granted. Even when you hurt this young lady, you still want her to remind you that you have indeed hurt her before you apologize. Many times the young lady apologize even when you are at fault. It means you don't love her. You do things and you pretend as if you don't know that this thing that you did is wrong. You offend her, you don't even know. She's not feeling fine, you don't know. Then forget it. If you marry her because she's beautiful, you are managing to marry her. I tell you something. Anybody you manage to marry, you won't last long in that marriage. Because there is no management in marriage. Those in the engineering field will tell you that there is no management in electricity. Because when you manage electricity by doing cut and join too much when doing some wiring, instead of you to go and buy a nice cable, do a nice and neat wiring, you are doing management too much of cut and join. The fact is that the time comes there must be fire outbreak, and if care is not taken, it can burn down the whole building. That's how marriage is. When you manage to marry, a time comes that there'll be disputes that you cannot handle on your own. A time comes that there'll be dispute that's going to be beyond you to handle. That is when many people contemplate divorce, because in the first place, they managed to marry. So I am appealing to those in courtship, those in relationship. While you are still dating this young man, this young lady, while you are still courting this young man, this young lady, ask yourself, this thing about him, about her, can I live with it? Can I in good conscience cope with this thing? If I a type that don't like a man that smokes, or a lady that smokes, someone that clubs, someone that keeps late night, there are things in a man, in a woman that you do not like. That so long as you are concerned, so long as the earth remains, so long as the heaven stands, these things need to be corrected first before you think of saying yes I do. Then in your conscience, decide that unless this thing is corrected, there is no marriage for the both of you. Then spell it out to this your person, to this your partner, that this is what I do not like about you, and until I see otherwise, there is no me and there is no you. By the time you spell it out like that to someone, that this thing I do not like it about you, and so long as this thing is still there, there is no me and there is no you, that is the point that this person will have no choice than to take it upon him or herself to correct this thing, so that he or she can be married properly by you. That's what it means to marry the right way. But when you see one thing or the other that should make you to rethink about marrying somebody, and you overlook that thing, and you go ahead to marry despite that thing that you are looking at, it means you are managing to marry. And those that manage to marry don't last in marriage. I come again. Those that manage to marry don't last in marriage. So on this segment, on this conclusion, I am now telling everybody that is watching this live video, the instant you are courting, or the instant you are in a relationship that must lead you to marriage, begin to look out for those things that you know you can't live with in marriage, those things that you know you can't condone in marriage, those things that you know you can't put up with this person so long as marriage is concerned. Look out for those things. If those things are there, first thing you should do is eliminate those things. In mathematics, before you solve an equation and get the answer, you must apply what they call elimination method. I come again. In mathematics, before you solve an equation and get the right answer, you must always use a formula called elimination method. That formula is to allow you eliminate what isn't supposed to be there, to eliminate what must not be there, to delete, to rule out the elements, the variables that you do not need in that equation. Once you eliminate those things, you will see that you are almost arriving at your answers. And many times, if you don't use elimination method in mathematics, you can't get your answers. Whenever you are in a meaningful relationship or in a courtship, and you are sure that it is time to think of getting married, that is when you need what they call elimination method, whereby you look at your partner very well. What are the things in him or her that you do not like, that you hate, you disgust, that with these things in the picture, there can be no marriage. Look at those things and eliminate them one after the other, and until you have successfully deal with those things one after the other, such that you find them and you can't see, you look for them and can see them no more. That is the point that you can now take the bold step and go and do your introduction. But until you have carefully taken out those things one after the other, such that none is left, my dear, you are not yet ready for marriage. This is where I've got to stop. Once again, my name is Mr. Therapist, and I talk on relationship, I talk on marriage, I talk on career, I talk on sex. And you can always hit my inbox anytime, any day for a counseling section. Once again, for all counseling section, I charge 5K. I repeat, for all counseling section, I charge 5K. Now, for those who can't afford 5K for the counseling section, there's a book authored by me personally. It is called Making Your Marriage Work. The book is valued at 1,500 naira. Now, on this blog, I run adverts. I give visibility to your businesses. All you have to do is come to my inbox, pay into the account I'll give to you, which is 3,000 naira, and I can run your advert 3 times in a day and for 7 whole days. After 7 whole days, your advert is exhausted. Once again, do have a wonderful day, and thanks for staying on with me in this live video. Now it is time to go through the comments on this live video and top up data for some people. Goodbye for now. This is Mr. Therapist, wishing you all from Abuja, Nigeria.